Hello everyone, this is Dr. Vivek Kumar from Department of Mechanical Engineering, School of Technology, Pandit Deendayal Petroleum University, Gandhinagar. In last video, I have discussed PUG method for concept selection. This activity has been performed by taking an example of a reusable syringe for outpatient use. In this video, I will be covering some activities used for testing the selected product concept obtained after concept selection activity in the product development phase. Here, concept development process shows relative position of concept testing with respect to all other activities in a concept development process. The objective of concept testing is similar to that of the concept selection. Both concept selection and testing are aimed to narrow down the set of concepts under consideration. Concept testing is different from the concept selection in a way that it is based on gathering data directly from the potential customers. It relies to a lesser extent on the judgment of the development team. The reason that a concept testing generally follows concept selection is that a team cannot feasibly test more than a few concepts directly with the potential customers. As a result, the team must first narrow the set of alternatives under consideration to a very few by using the concept selection activity. Concept testing is also closely related to prototyping because concept testing includes some kind of representation of product concept, and that is often a prototype. A concept test also provides an estimate of how many units of the product the company is likely to sell. Activities such as mission statement, identification customer need, establishing target specification, generate concept, select concept are the prerequisites to concept testing. The concept testing helps in establishing the final specification of the developed concept. Concept testing is a kind of experimental activity. The purpose of an experiment is always essential for designing an effective experimental method. The concept testing provides some of the information that is very essential for the concept generation or the concept selection, such as which of several alternative concepts should be pursued. How can the concept be improved to better meet the customer needs? Approximately how many units are likely to be sold? Should development be continued or not? The answer to these questions are generally given by the concept testing activity. So by now the essence of concept testing is very well understood. Now we will discuss the procedure for performing concept testing in a detailed manner. It is not always essential to conduct concept testing activities. Product life cycle and cost of manufacturing the product is always an important criteria in taking the decision on concept testing. If the time required to test the concept is large relative to the product life cycle, or if the concept of testing is large or the cost of the testing is large enough to the cost of actually launching the product, then concept testing is not performed. For example, products such as internet software businesses. Just launching a beta version of software and iteratively refining it with subsequent version is a better strategy than carefully testing a concept before fully developing it. However, exception to this rule always occur. When testing is essential, a risk of human loss and economic loss is high in the actual application of the product. For example, in a new commercial airplane, the development cost and the time are huge and failure can be disastrous. Most product categories fall between these two extremes, and in most cases, some form of the concept testing is always warranted. Concept testing procedure is a 7-step method. It has been standardized to perform product concept testing. The various steps in the concept testing process are: first, define the purpose of the concept testing. Choose a survey population and sample size. choose a survey format, communicate the concept, measure customer response, interpret all the result obtained by applying step 1 to 5, and then reflect on the process and the results which we have gained. The first step in concept testing is to define the purpose. Here the development team seek answer to specific question that would justify the testing of selected product concept. Some of the standard questions need to be answered in this step are: which of the alternative concept should be pursued? How can the concept be improved to better meet the customer need? Approximately how much units are likely to be sold? Should the development of the product concept be continued or not? Second step is to select sample size and conduct population survey. Sample size varies from a few to 1,000. It depends upon the size of the market segment in which the product is to be launched. For example, in case of surgical instrument, surveying 10 renowned surgeons is enough, whereas for a new mobile phone, even 1,000 sample size is not sufficient. Hence, population of potential customer surveyed should reflect that of the target markets for the product. In order to find reliable sample size, the first few questions are generally used to verify that the respondent or the customer fit the definition of the target market for the product. In certain cases, a product addresses customers of different background, group, age, etc. Therefore, an accurate concept test requires that potential customers from each target segment could be surveyed. In order to get more reliable data, the team may actually structure multiple surveys with different objectives. Each of these surveys may involve a different sample size or the population. Step 3 is selecting a survey format. The following formats are commonly used in concept testing. First is face-to-face interaction. In this format, an interviewer interacts directly with the respondent. Face-to-face interactions can take the form of intercept, meaning stopping people at a mall, in a park, or in a street or a city for conducting face-to-face interaction or for conducting the survey. Second is the telephone. Telephone interviews may be pre-arranged and targeted at very specific individuals such as pediatric dentist. Another method is the postal mails. In mail surveys, concept testing materials are sent and respondents are asked to return a complete form. Postal surveys are slower than other methods and suffer from relatively poor response rates. So we have to give some kind of incentive such as cash to a respondent to increase the survey response. Next method is the electronic mail. Electronic mail survey increases the chances of getting response as compared to the postal mails. However, if the customer treated them as unwanted emails, this tendency may not persist. In some cases, many electronic mails users react extremely negatively to unsolicited commercial correspondence. Therefore, it is often recommended that electronic mail survey should be only used when respondents are likely to receive a benefit for their participation. Last method is the internet. In this format, a team creates a virtual concept testing site in which surveying participant can observe concept and provide responses. An electronic mail message is usually used to invite respondent to visit the test site. Each of these formats have pros and cons and also have the risk of biasness. For example, the use of electronic mails format may bias the sample towards those who are technologically sophisticated. The method of conducting survey is closely linked to the way in which the concept will be communicated. Concept can be communicated in any of the following ways listed here. A verbal description is generally a short paragraph or a collection of the bullet points summarizing the product concept. Sketches are usually line drawings showing the product with highlighted key features. Photographs can be used to communicate the concept when actual model for the product concept exists. Rendering are nearly photorealistic depiction of the product. A storyboard is a series of images that communicate a temporal sequence of primary function or the unique selling price of the product. Video images allow even more dynamism than the storyboard. With video, the use of product itself can be very clearly communicated. Simulations is generally implemented as software that present the function or interactive features of the product. Interactive multimedia often combine the visual richness of the video with interactivity of the simulation. Physical appearance models are known as the look-like models. They display the form and the appearance of the product. They are often made of wood, polymers, foams, and are painted to look like the real products. The working prototypes can be very useful in depicting a concept testing. However, the use of working prototypes is also very risky. The primary risk is that the respondent will copy the prototype with the finished product for himself. Richness of the description or the communication of the product increases as we move from the verbal discrimination towards the working prototypes. Try or measure the customer response from survey. In most concept test surveys, first we communicate the product concept and then measure the customer response. Measurement is based on the following questions. Some questions are based on the selection preference from alternatives. Other are based on the performance improvement or refining of the concept. Through the responses of these questions, we predict the purchase intent of the customer for the product. The intent is falling in one of the following categories: that the customer will definitely buy the product, probably buy, might or might not buy, or probably would not buy the. Step 6 is used to interpret the result from the concept testing. It is used to forecast the demand of the product. In comparing two or more concepts, interpretation of the result is straightforward. If one concept dominates the other and the team is confident that the respondent understood the key differences among the concept, then in such cases, team can simply choose the preferred concept. However, if the results are not conclusive, then the team need a method or structured approach based on cost or some other consideration to select a proper concept. Here, a method based on the cost of the concept is discussed. The expected sales for the product can be predicted by using this formula. Here Q is the product of quantity N, A and P. N is the number of the potential customers which are expected to buy a product. A is the fraction of those potential customers who are aware of the product and they are also aware that the product is available in the market. P is the probability that the product will be purchased if the customer is aware of it and it is available. The value of the P is calculated by using this formula. Here CD is the percentage of those in FD that will actually buy. It normally rises in the range of 0.1 to 0.5. CP is the percentage of those in the FP. FP means the fraction of the surveying respondent indicating that they would definitely purchase the product. Its value rises between 0 to 0.25. In some cases, the projection estimate from the above model can differ from actual purchases because of following reasons. First is the importance of word of mouth. It can also be referred as the promotion of the concept or the product by the customer, satisfied customer. It refers to the enthusiasm of existing users in generating a demand. This factor is not generally captured in the concept testing method or model. Second is the fidelity of the concept generation. If the actual product differs substantially from the description of the product in the concept test, then the actual sales are likely to differ from the forecast values. Next is the pricing. If the price of the product deviates significantly from the price indicated by the team in the survey to the customers or from the expectations of the surveyed respondent, then the forecast is likely to be inaccurate one. Last one is the level of the promotion. Spending on advertisement or other forms of the promotion can increase the demand for most of the product. The influence of promotion is accounted weekly in the forecasting models. Final step is to reflect back on the results and the process. Here, the team should reflect on the evidence as well as the numerical outcomes of its forecast. The team should think the success of the product were three key variables or the factors in the forecasting model. The first one is the overall size of the market, second, availability and awareness of the product, and the third, the fraction of the customers who are likely to purchase. Considering alternative markets for the product can sometimes answer the first factor, that is the overall size of the market. The second factor can be increased through distribution arrangements and the promotional plans of the product. The third factor can be increased through changes to the product design that will improve the attractiveness of the product. In reflecting on the result of the concept, then the team should ask two key diagnostic questions. First, was the concept communicated in a way that it is likely to draw out the customer response? For example, if one of the primary benefits of the concept is its aesthetic appeal, was the concept represented in a way that this aspect of the product was clear to the respondent? Second, is the resulting forecasting consistent with the observed sale rate of similar product? The team can benefit from its experience by documenting the result of concept testing procedure as a record in the history of the design and development of a product process. The rough estimate of the market size can also be made through the comparison with the similar product or with known size of demographic groups. Approximate population and demographic data as per the census of 2011 is provided here. This information is very handy while roughly estimating the market size of a particular product in a particular country or a particular region of a globe. This figure gives information on approximately annual sales volume of the different product. These figures represent the volume of a typically single model produced by a single manufacturer. That will be the units per year. These informations are quite handy in setting the sample size in the population survey. In the next lecture, we will apply the procedure of concept testing to test the generated concept for electric powered scooter.